Hello everyone, my name's Anna Carroll, and today we're going to be running through the SolidWorks Basics workshop. It's going to be making a inspired piece by this LinkedIn tag in which it holds an NFC tag that you can tap to your phone and pull up your LinkedIn or your resume. You can put any URL on this to pull up on your phone when you tap it, just like when you tap your credit card at the store. We have the slides linked on Discord if you want to go through them. They talk about different types of joints between two pieces. We're going to be making a dovetail joint piece. And we also have some instructions on how to open SolidWorks or download it. We're going to start with the bottom piece and jump right in. We're going to click New, File, New, Impart. This might already show on your side, but we're going to do that. Okay. And it's going to pull up nothing, right? But we're going to be in features. Features is how we can decide how we want to pull a shape out of thin air, right? So we're going to go to features, extruded boss base. And now this whole thing is grayed out and we can choose a plane to start drawing. I'm going to click the top plane. Everything is the same. And in these little drawing tools here, we're going to select corner rectangle. You will notice instead of features, we're in sketch now. You have to stay in sketch until you finish drawing your sketch that you're going to pull the material out of. So we're going to choose this rectangle and draw any size rectangle because I will change the dimensions later. In my explanation, I write 32 by 32 millimeter. Let me make this full screen. And if you want to change what your units are, you're going to go in this bottom right corner. Instead of custom, we're going to choose millimeter gram second. This is going to be kind of the standard for anything you want to make. But you'll notice when I did that, it kicked me out of the sketch. I can tell because the square isn't blue. I'm going to click on sketch again, and I just want to, oops, not rename it. I just want to pull up this little icon here, which is edit sketch with the pencil. Okay, now we're back. Smart Dimension is the tool that's gonna set the dimensions of any sketch you have. You want to see that it's selecting something, turning it orange. I'm going to click on that selected piece and then drop the dimension. And now it's going to pull up this modified text dialog, and we're going to hit 32 and hit enter. Perfect. Let's do the same thing. Orange, click, drop the dimension, 32, enter. Perfect. We also want to do corners, so I'm going to click sketch fillet on this top corner. And instead of 10 millimeters, it's fillet parameters, I'm going to hit 4, hit enter, it's updated. And now I want to click these corners, and you can see the preview of them before I click. Okay, I'm going to click OK and exit sketch. This is exactly what I want. Now, this should not happen to you where it just drops the sketch and doesn't ask you to extrude it. It happened to me because I changed the units in the middle of my sketch. To fix that, we can click on the sketch and click extruded boss base again in features. And we want this height to be, I think it's 3 millimeters. I'm going to click enter. It's going to be blind. Go ahead. Okay, perfect. And now we're going to cut a hole for our dovetail. So I'm using the middle, actually, scroll of my mouse to spin my model around. You can also use the arrow keys, up, down, left, right, or you can click space bar, which is going to show you like different types of views that you can have. It can be isometric or any plane. I'm going to click extrude cut, and I want to be able to see a side face, and click that side face. This is the face we're going to work on. We're back in sketch, and now we want to draw a trapezoid. I'm going to use this line tool. Click on the line tool, and each time I tap, each time I click, it's going to drop a point. So I'm just going to draw this trapezoid. It's going to connect all the edges, and I want to connect it at the end. And you know it's connected at the end because it filled it in. We're going to go to Smart Dimension, and we're going to click on, oops, escape. I don't want that top face. I want this bottom. I'm going to drop the dimension and set that to 30 millimeters. And now we're going to do these inner corners of the trapezoid. I can click the side and the bottom. And I want this inner, do you see this? The inner angle, not the outer angle. The inner angle to be 60 degrees. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just tapping the two sides, dropping the angle, and writing 60. I want the height to be 2 millimeters, so I'm going to click the bottom to the top. And I'm going to drop this dimension on the side and type 2. Enter. Beautiful. Okay. It looks like it's hitting the top, but it's not really. So I'm actually going to move this so I can see the edges better. I'm just going to move to the middle for now. I can move it to the middle because I'm not selecting Smart Dimension or any of these drawing tools. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to select a new tool to help you learn how to center your sketches. Within line, we're going to select center line. And what center line does is we can find a midpoint by selecting one of these edges. I'm looking for this top edge and for this midpoint that popped up. Did you see that? In yellow. I'm going to select that. And I want also the midpoint of the trapezoid. So when I'm holding over, you see the yellow point. Let me make sure that's the actual midpoint. Uh-huh. Okay. And I don't want to keep drawing. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to reselect the center line and I'm going to hit vertical. And now, when I zoom out, it's going to be centered midpoint to midpoint. And now I want this height to be 0. So let's try this out. We're going to hit Smart Dimension. And we're going to select these two faces. We're going to drop it. We're going to type 0 millimeters. Okay, so we had an error. Let's figure out why. When you have an error like this, the problem areas are going to be highlighted in red or yellow. I'm going to deselect the Smart Dimension tool. And I'm going to right click this red center line that's having the problem. I'm going to click delete. Okay, it's the one that was having the problem. I know that my trapezoid is centered right now. And it actually looks like it glitched. But also if you want to center your trapezoid, because we know the width is 32 and the trapezoid is 30, we can set from this point to this edge as 1 millimeter. This is correct. And it seems to be centered to the top now. Okay. Exit sketch. And now what we're going to do is instead of through all, actually, we're going to be doing offset from surface. And now I'm going to look at the opposing side of our sketch. I'm going to select it. It's going to turn pink. And this dimension is going to be 2 millimeters. And you can see in yellow the preview. I'm going to click OK. And now it cut it perfectly. Okay, now we're going to draw our I and N letters. I'm going to do this view to flatten ourselves. And what I'm going to do is select a face. I'm going to select sketch, sketch. And we're going to do tools, sketch tools, and sketch picture. And now what this is going to do is going to pull up your downloads. And within your downloads, you're going to have the LinkedIn logo initials from the slides. It's linked on the next, it's linked on the first part page. And I can click and drag this corner. When I zoom out, you can see the whole thing. I'm going to click and drag the corner until it's somewhere on my body, my solid body. And I'm going to set the dimensions. I think 20 was somewhat a good number. You can set it to whatever you want. Maybe let's try 20, 22. You know what? I'm going to do 20. Okay, I'm going to center it where I think it looks quite even. And I'm going to click OK. Okay, cool. So now when we turn around, you see we have this face with the letters I and oopsies. We don't want that. Hold on. Okay, awesome. And we're going to cut out these letters now. I'm going to flatten myself to this edge. by clicking the space bar and selecting the face and then zooming in. Okay, we're gonna exit sketch and I want to build a new sketch with the holes. So I'm gonna do is we're gonna do features, extruded cut, select this face. We're gonna zoom back in. I'm going to select the circle tool, drop a point, let go, and now I can select whatever radius I want, and I'm gonna click at where it seems correct. You'll see that I'm not centered. I'm gonna deselect the circle, and I can drag this circle, hopefully. Where are we? Come on now. Ideally, you should be able to. Let me exit and re-enter. They always say turn it off and turn it back on, right? Okay. Yellow. Let's exit again and edit. Okay, this is looking better. I hope. What is this pink tool on my... Okay, I'm uncertain. Okay, but we can just draw the rest of our letters. We're going to select the rectangle tool. We're going to click to drop a point and click to drop the second point. And we're going to do the same thing. And you'll notice that you'll see this dotted line to line up where the edges are the same. These letters, I want it to match the picture we have. And for this right side of the N, I'm going to overdo it on purpose. That way I can draw this arc. So now we have circles and we have rectangles. I'm going to select from this drop down the 3-point arc. Okay, and what this does is we're going to select the two endpoints and then the middle. So I'm going to select this end. Hello? There we go. Okay, 3-point arc. I needed to select these edges, which are not highlighting for some reason. Let's see if we can reduce the opacity of this image just so I can see a little bit better. We're gonna save and restart dovetail bottom demo. I'm gonna save over something. Don't do as I do. Or not. Okay. And we're gonna redo this. I'll be right back. And just closed Solidworks reopened, and now we can see the sketches are actually filled in with this blue, which is exactly what I want, and I can resize them and drag and drop them like I wasn't able to before. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is draw these little arcs, as I was saying. So we're gonna select a 3-point arc. We're gonna select once and twice. Make sure that you're selecting on the edge. The edge is turning orange, as you see. And the third time for the middle point. And we're gonna do it again. Okay, once, twice, and third time. We're gonna let go and we're gonna make this a little bit nicer. Oopsies, not like that. I just want to drag this point upwards. Okay. All right. This is good to me. I'm gonna click done. I'm going to click exit sketch. And what we want to do now is make this sketch into a extruded cut, which if you fill it in the sketch, should probably pop up. Okay, now as I highlight over different parts of the shape, you'll see it highlighting, right? So I'm gonna select each part we want to cut out. I accidentally selected a contour. Don't do that. You can delete it by right-clicking and clicking delete. Okay, and click OK. And if I turn this around, I see my letters. Beautiful. Okay, shoes, I lost it. And what you can do to see this better is you can right-click your sketch and click hide. And we're done with this piece. Let's save it. Okay, all right, perfect. And now we're gonna do a new piece. Okay. We're going to start with extruded base just like we did before. Click the top plane, click on the corner rectangle like before, and we're gonna drop the 2 points and smart dimension them. Um, Remember, what were my dimensions? Let's pull up the slides. My dimensions were 29.7 and 29.85. The reason why these seem random, 27 and 21.85. The reason why these seem random is because these have the width minus a tolerance. And this tolerance means you're leaving airspace to account for the friction that's going to happen between two pieces. I go more into it on the slides. But this is exactly what we want, a rectangle. It's not going to be a square like last time. And we want it to be 2 millimeters. I'm going to put enter. Oops, not 2, just 2. Just 2 millimeters and okay, perfect. Okay, and now on the shorter side, I'm gonna cut out this into a shape like a trapezoid. And to see my sketch again, I'm gonna click this drop-down menu, click on the sketch, and you can see the two shapes, the two smart dimensions I left. 29.7 is the smaller of the two. I'm gonna turn to that side. I'm gonna click extrude cut and click on that side. It's gonna turn whichever way it wants. If yours is vertical, no problem, that's fine. And we're gonna click this line tool. And we're gonna drop once in the corner, once on the side, the corner, and the corner again. And now we're gonna copy it here. Corner, corner, side, corner. And you'll see this trapezoid shape come to life. We're gonna deselect the line and we're gonna make this inner angle, selecting this side and the bottom. Oops. This is not what I wanted. I'm gonna put Control Z. I hope I didn't undo it. I did. Oops. Let's redraw this. Okay. We're going to re-smart dimension and we want the bottom and the side. Let's put this angle tool. I'm gonna drop it on the inside and type 60. Okay, and now the same on the other side. Side, bottom, click 60. And exit sketch. And we want to cut through all. Through all. Okay, done. Perfect. And we have this trapezoid piece. Now on the wider side, the bottom face, we're gonna click extruded cut at the bottom. And we're gonna use the circle tool to make a hole for our NFC tag. I'm just gonna click on the middle and draw a circle of any size and smart dimension the diameter to be 26 millimeters because NFC tag is 25 millimeters and there's 1 millimeter of gap in total, which is larger than it needs to be, but just to be safe. We are going to select center line on this drop down of the line. We are going to select this side, or just hover over it, and you'll see the midpoint pop up. I'm going to click the midpoint. I'm going to click the center of our circle, and I'm going to deselect this tool. And click this tool. Okay. Now I have the center line. I'm going to click horizontal, and now it aligned it symmetrically. I'm going to do the same thing on the top, and the benefit of using the centerline tool, if I ever wanted to scale up the size of this sketch, then the centerline tool would keep it centered rather than, for example, setting the distance between the side of the circle up to the edge. Okay, not smart dimension. I'm just going to click the side. I'm going to click vertical, and now it's centered. Okay, so now we have our centered circle. I'm going to click Exit Sketch, and I want to extrude cut this blindly for 1 millimeter. I'm going to click Enter, Enter. Okay, and now if I click off of it, you can see the whole beautiful, awesome. And now we want to draw our I and letters on the top, and we'll be basically done with the piece. I'm going to save this so that we don't lose it. Name it whatever you like, but don't name it the same as your last piece. Okay, so now instead of drawing the sketch picture like we did before with tools, sketch tools and sketch picture when you have a sketch on face, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna copy paste the last sketch because this is an important feature actually that you need to know. So you don't have to spend your time redoing the same thing multiple times. So our I and letters were in this cut extrude 2 in sketch 4. I'm going to access sketch 4 again by clicking this drop down. It's going to drop down. We'll see sketch 4, and I'm going to edit the sketch. Okay. And now by clicking Control A, I select all, Control C, I copy, exit. Let's go back to this. Select the top face, extrude cut, Control V. Okay, and now it's not centered, but I can click Control A to select again and drag it to what I think is the middle. Exit sketch. Okay, and because I'm cut extruding, I can select the shapes I want. I'm going to select through all and click done. And now we have the I and letters on this face. I'm going to save again. Okay, once you've saved, we can click, now we're finished with the pieces. I can show you first how to export these as STL files, which is what 3D printers want, and this is what the makerspace wants before they slice them into a 3D printer readable format. So we're going to save it as a file, save as, and instead of save file type as PRT or Solidworks part, we're going to scroll. See STL, this is what I want. I'm going to save it as an STL, and it's okay that it's saving as triangles. Let's do the other piece too. Okay, we're going to do file, save as, again, save it as an STL, save. Okay, yes. And I'm going to show you, you want to move this into either a Google Drive folder, for example, Final dovetail STL files, makerspace, create, and we're going to make this shareable with them because we want to make sure they're not locked out. So if you're using Box or Google Drive, make sure it's accessible to anyone with the link that they can comment or view. I'm going to do contributor just in case. Copy, and we're going to drag and drop the files that we just made, the STL files. Let's go ahead and find them, STL. Okay, beautiful. The way you upload this is if you follow these instructions, you go Google Makerspace. So we're going to Google the BYC Makerspace, but I also have it linked. And what you're going to do is you're going to select Submit a Project. You're going to click on this project submission form. There's more information here for FDM 3D printing, which is what we're doing. Project submission. And we're going to take this link of this shareable folder. Oh, did it say both? And we're going to copy the link. File, share, copy link. Don't look too hard at my password. Okay. And, oh my lord, two-factor authentication will be the death of me. And And what you would do is you would fill out the makerspace form with these answers over here. Something I know that I should add is that you should say, please print one of each part in PLA. But PLA or ABS should be fine, but PLA is usually what you're printing in. You'll pull this up, you'll say, no, it's not a research project. Yes, it's for a student org. Yes, it's 3D printing. You can copy paste what I wrote here. And you can click whatever type of student you are. And I wrote this description for us that we can paste. And we can put our folder, which I need to recopy the link to. And you can submit. Response was submitted. Awesome. Okay, awesome. So now it's sent to the makerspace, but if you want to check, this is not important to actual printing of your part, but this is important to making sure your part works or two pieces fit together before you print it. So we can click Make an Assembly from Part. If it will load, and we're going to select the two parts that we just made in SolidWorks. I'm going to Shift Select the second piece. And when I click in this empty space, it's going to draw the first part. This top part is now still blue. And I'm just going to click. If you weren't able to drop in either of your pieces, you can go back in and click Assembly, Insert Components, and add anything you weren't able to. And now I can drag around these pieces. Usually the first piece stays still, and the second piece is not anchored to anything. You can drag it anywhere. And now to make sure these pieces fit together, there's this Mate tool. I'm going to select Mate. I'm going to scroll around and click on this bottom face. And I'm going to click on that face and this face. That will be almost touching. And I'm going to set a distance of our tolerance. Our tolerance was 0.15. Again, go ahead and look at the slides to learn what a tolerance is. As I said earlier, okay. The tolerance is just to make sure that there's enough space for friction between the two surfaces, to let things move freely. You'll notice that my piece is turned 90 degrees. And what I can do is I'm still in mate mode. I'm going to select this edge and 90 degrees to it. I'm going to select this edge that I want it to be against. Select this distance tool and write 0.15, enter. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. Okay, and now we're here. And now you can see if I go exactly 2D, that I have this space here for air to flow. Oh, maybe not. We can fix this actually. So we can make this hole bigger, or we can make our piece smaller. I think maybe I forgot a tolerance of 0.15 on this side. But I would go ahead and make this width of your piece a little bit smaller for the pieces to fit together. But otherwise, against the two angles that I set to mate, I could slide these pieces together. I would also change the writing of the I and the N to be the same way. Or you can add a keychain hole here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I didn't go into the specifics of how to make this perfect and pretty, but hopefully this gave you a good example of how to make your own part, how to make some cuts, how to extrude some boss bases, how to put an assembly together, how to submit to the makerspace, and give you some groundworks to make your first projects by yourself. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope to see you around. Bye-bye.